All right, guys, we are back on our Business Spotlight series. We're here at Apricot Stone in Northern Liberties, 1 block from the Piazza, and this is the full interview, so thanks for joining us. I'm here with the owner, Ara. Ara, thanks for having us here.
Thank you for coming.
Dude, it's a pleasure, and I'm excited to let everyone else get to know you guys like we've got to know you. And, you know, just talk to us about when did you guys start, how long have you been in business, and, you know, where did the idea come from?
So, January of 2016 was when we first opened, end of January, so we just passed our 5-year mark of this restaurant. My family has been in the food industry since 1991. My mother had a small takeout spot on the main line.
Okay.
So she was there for about 17 years or so. During that time, we've also been doing full service catering, offsite catering, things like weddings and little parties and so on.
Sure.
So, you know, my mom wasn't working for a little bit, and I was talking to her one day, and she loves cooking. She loves cooking for the masses, and I said, you know what, we should get you back in the kitchen, let's do something, and we decided to open a restaurant. We looked all over the place. We were initially looking for the main line.
Okay.
It just didn't feel right, so we said, let's look a little bit more. I remember coming down in the Northern Liberties area a while ago. Hadn't spent too much time here. You know, we used to go to like El Camino Real, which is right behind us, a couple of times a year at the most.
Mm-hmm.
But we were just driving around looking at the neighborhoods, and we saw this Liberties Walk, and we kind of fell in love with it instantly. We spent a couple of days at Bar Ferdinand, which I love, which is no longer there. But we used to sit there and drink their sangria and just watch the neighborhood, and we kind of felt like this was a good spot to be in. Had good, you know, had a good crowd around here, and so we decided, you know, let's open it up. We had no prior dining, you know, sit-down restaurant experience, so this was our first go. And one of the, you know, cons of that is we chose a space that's relatively small, and we realized the first night that we should have gone something a little bit bigger. But it does have a good cozy feel. You know, sometimes, you know, it could be a Saturday night, people are on top of each other, obviously not this past year, but before that. And it's just intimate and fun, and can be loud, and it's just a great atmosphere.
I mean, it kind of reminds me more of Europe, right? Like, everyone's a little bit more crunched in on the streets, and this Liberties Walk is awesome, so maybe that's even added to the atmosphere that you either intended or unintentionally created.
And I think when they drew up the whole idea of the Piazza, that was the whole idea, to have like an Italian walking promenade to make you feel like Italy.
Sweet. And you just had your 5-year anniversary?
Yeah, we just passed the 5-year.
Congrats.
We celebrated quietly, you know.
Sure. No, that's awesome. So 5 years in this location, and sounds like you're going to be here for the foreseeable future.
That's our goal. It's never to close. That's our goal.
Awesome. And as far as the inspiration goes, tell us about maybe your mother's background and the type of food that you guys are serving here. Where did it come from?
So my mother is the chef, but she's not classically trained. She grew up in a small house in Aleppo, Syria. And in the old countries, as you know, we like to call it, as a young daughter, you don't do much except help around the house. And she grew up in the kitchen alongside with her mom and aunts and grandmother. Mm-hmm. And so all the recipes we use today are the same recipes she learned back then.
Wow.
You know, she's 63 years old and still working now, and those are 60-year-old recipes that she's using. None of them are written down, it's all in her head, so it's a bad business plan, but you know, it's very classic, it's very traditional. We don't fall for all that, you know, fusion or adding things to our hummus and things like that. My mom's been making her hummus the same exact way as she has since, you know, being a kid in Syria. So we keep everything traditional. It tastes like you're eating at your grandmother's house. We kind of call it a Middle Eastern Thanksgiving here. Our plates are very, you know, family, like, you know, you just went to the buffet top and filled up your dinner and went and sat down, you know, at the dining room table, and now we're eating with your family, and that's just kind of the atmosphere we like and what we try to push.
It's authentic is kind of what authentic. I hear you saying.
Yeah, your vocabulary is better than mine.
I don't know about that, but what about like what typical dishes can people expect if they're coming here or ordering takeout?
So our main entrees are our kebabs. So we do lamb, filet, chicken. We do our ground beef called lula. So those are your entrees. Just naturally and fortunately for us and our diners, a lot of our menu is also vegan and vegetarian friendly. We didn't know it was that important 5 years ago. It's obviously even more important 5 years later. But people really do enjoy that. You know, you eat our food and you still feel healthy afterwards. But so we do offer something for everybody. It's very rare where you get a group of people sit down at a table and don't order at some point a hummus.
Yeah.
But some of my favorite things are stuffed grape leaves.
Okay.
They're vegan, but
What's inside of them?
so they're rice vegetables,
Okay.
a couple little secret ingredients, and we hand roll them. And for someone like me, I can go into a restaurant, see it with my eye, and know that this is hand rolled or it's canned. We make everything here, like we make everything in house, and you could truly tell the difference rather than something that's store bought or frozen and thawed or whatever you want to call it.
So the hummus is freshly made.
Every day we make everything. Every day the grape leaves are rolled every day, and it's a half-day process. It's not an easy thing.
Wow.
But my favorite things, one is called the cheese boreg,
Okay.
which is like a mix of cheeses inside a phyllo dough pastry. The phyllo dough, if you're not familiar with it, it's very thin dough. It kind of becomes like papery or flaky, if you want to call it like that. Stick it in the oven, comes out. You bite into it, it has a crunch of the phyllo dough and then melty cheese on the inside. So that's my favorite thing as an Armenian kid. You go to anybody's house or a party, if like that wasn't offered, you were not happy no matter what else is going on. Our manti is also phenomenal. Again, we make it here. Manti is a Armenian homemade dumpling. They're open faced. They look like little boats. We pinch the edges. Inside is a little ground beef. Mix that with the chicken broth and add garlic yogurt and sumac on top. If we bring it out to a table, the smell is so good. Everybody else is asking what it is. It's definitely our favorite. It's something that we did add to the menu a couple of years ago for an everyday steady thing. And it's, in the beginning, it was only really popular with people who knew what it was, and now
Everyone knows about it. Is that your most ordered dish, or does it go back to those kebabs and?
Yeah, so we serve that as an appetizer.
Yeah.
It is our most expensive appetizer, so that automatically makes it not the most ordered dish, but it's definitely worth it. And the experience of eating in-house, I think, is a little bit better than eating it at home.
Sure.
Which I think is like that with everything, but yeah, it's one of the more popular things now. Like I said, it took some time for people to get into, but yeah, 4 people sit around one bowl, they eat a few each, and it's great. They're small little dumplings, so you can share it. But yeah, the cheese boreg and that and our stuffed grape leaves, I think, are no-brainers. And we do a dessert here. A lot of the Middle Eastern nations like to call it a knefe. We call it radaif. It's a little bit different. It's got cream and a cheese center, but it's with shredded dough instead of a flat dough. And we cook it to order, so it comes out hot, takes a while. We put a little sugar syrup on top and pistachio. That is also something that, like, once people order it, that's the only dessert they'll order again after that. And I guarantee you it's the best thing you'll find in the city.
Dude, I had one like a couple weeks ago, and I was eating it at home with my wife, and I was like, you have to taste this. This is like, this is amazing. Like, it's dangerous.
And again, it's my mom making it. She sits there and makes them every day. So, I mean, it's...
All right, so those are some of the dishes that you guys have to check out. And as far as the restaurant, and maybe you even mentioned something along these lines, but what's one thing that people might not know about the restaurant just looking at your website or your menu?
We're like a family here. Like I have great staff. We have staff that's been here since the day we've opened. We have staff that works prep for 20 years with my mother.
Wow.
So the reason we can be consistent, the reason that we can, provide what we provide and do the best that we can is because we do have great people behind, with us and behind us that are like our family.
So you have to come check it out, experiencing it. And you said your staff has been here for a long period of time, and it's so important to have that consistency in the product that you're offering. So it's not just hey, one experience once, but you come back and you get the same awesome food that you enjoyed the first time, which I think is huge for any business.
Absolutely.
So as far as dining goes, when people come here to dine, outside, which is what it is right now, what can they expect? I mean, tell us about the atmosphere, because I think that's pretty special, and someone who's never been here might not realize how much fun it can be.
Yeah, so we have traditional Armenian music in the background, something that you probably never heard before, unless you're really out there with your music choice. And regarding how the crowd is, it can get pretty loud, especially outside.
Sure.
You'll have, it's BYOB, so everybody's generally in a good mood and feeling a little bit better. We have great lights, so that just builds that whole outdoor atmosphere, the under the lights atmosphere. Above these lights, there's another huge set of lights that you don't see right now, but they'll turn on at night. So, especially on a night like this, or on like a warmer summer night, it's just very comfortable. It's kind of like sitting at a bonfire, but obviously no bonfire. But I'm out and about with all my guests. We know people. I have a ton of customers who have my cell phone number.
Nice.
And it's just, we've been here for 5 years. We're very comfortable with everybody, and we're part of the community. We're not just another restaurant that you go to and that's it. You're seeing the owner come to your table. I talk to you, I ask you a couple questions. I see, I can read what's going on the table. If you're not satisfied with something, I come and check you out, and see what's going on. Some places, there's a lot of places that do that. Some places you don't get that. Anybody could serve great food, but you have to really connect. So when like you're coming here, I'm going to be here, and you could call me a friend.
Yeah.
You'll feel more comfortable. You'll feel more inclined to come down and over and over again.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like I said earlier, it's like a party that hasn't erupted yet, I guess you could say. And we take it in any direction that the crowd. Listen, there's Saturday nights where I walk around with a bottle, and everybody gets a shot if they're down for it. I can't say that.
It's all good, dude.
So
I think you have to come here and experience it. I mean, it sounds like between the food, the atmosphere, getting to know you and your family, and really like building that relationship is something special that, like you said, you just don't get at every restaurant. So it's, sign me up. And then just to wrap up, where can people find you? What apps or social media platforms are you on?
Our website is ApricotStonePhilly.com. That's also our Facebook, and our Instagram is ApricotStonePhilly. Twitter is ApricotStonePHL. They have limitations on the name size, I guess. And again, reservations you can call directly, or you can go on OpenTable and book through OpenTable.
Instagram?
Instagram is ApricotStonePhilly.
Okay.
We do a lot of our shots and stuff on Instagram if you want to, see what's cooking that night, or some of our new dishes, or some things like that. Instagram is probably the best way.
So you're pretty active on Instagram.
Instagram, you have to be active. It's an amazing tool. People eat with their eyes before they eat with their, their mouths, right, or stomachs. But yeah, Instagram for restaurant business is vital. Brings people. You see it all the time. People taking pictures of their food.
Oh, 100%.
And it's all for the gram, man.
I love it. I love it. All right, so they can check you out on Instagram. You guys have a Google page as well. If you need directions to this spot, we're located between 2nd and American.
Yeah. So our address is 1040 North 2nd. But our front door is on American Street. So if you want to come down American Street, that's probably the best shot. We recommend either carpooling, Ubering, taking a cab, because parking is tough around this neighborhood, but it's worth it. Drive around for an extra 5 minutes, find a spot.
Especially if you're going to be drinking, it is a BYO, so.
Bring everything besides a keg and you're good to drink here, so.
I love it. Well, guys, that wraps up our Business Spotlight series. Like Ara said, we're in Northern Liberties at Apricot Stone, located a couple blocks from the Piazza. Thanks for joining us, and we will catch you on the next series. Take care.